Have you ever felt like you might be suffering from an embarrassment of riches? I think I'm not exactly like the 100% sure what that term truly means. I've always found it that like you have so many good things that there's like too much to do or too much to have. So you like end up not having to use everything or like are just trying to like kind of pick the best of the best out of all the good things that you have. So that's kind of like what I'm currently suffering with. And it is, it's really actually a really nice thing, to be honest. But anyways, hello everybody. This is That Manga Dude and welcome to another FVI. This is the show on my channel where I talk about first volumes. I almost said first impressions, which is technically true. First volumes or one-shots. And there are a lot. I have received a lot of review copies from various publishers. There are 3 in here. Actually, this is not a sponsored thing, just want to let you know right beforehand. I did receive these as review copies, but these are all going to be my honest opinions. And there's also one manga that I just threw in here because I wanted to also do a more full review on it. So I hope you're excited. There are 4 volumes. I don't usually do... Actually, I do usually do 4. Just kidding. But it's very exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you have a great time. And yeah, let's get started right now. Alright, so the first manga that I'm going to be talking about today is originally releasing in January 25th of 2023 in the magazine Ichijinsha. That is going to be A Curtain Call for You from Shiho Sato, who is doing the story, and Kiki Imoda, the artist. So, yes, let's talk about this. People who worked on this really quick. We have ourselves translation from Miyamaki. We have letterer Madeline Jose. We have editor Alexandra McCullough Garcia. Production from Pei Yep and Yan Fen Wu. And proofreading from Kevin Luo. Let's talk about this cover and spine. I love it. I think the red is a really, really nice touch. Helps to pop the character out here on the front. Great pose. Love the lighting, the coloring that's done on the character here. I love that the red and white is also shared on the spine and the back cover. So yeah, overall, I really, really enjoy this cover and spine. Okay, let's talk about the story really quick. So we have ourselves Sakura Akutsu, who is not the girl on the front, spoiler alert. It's actually going to be this girl here. Has always felt like she could never really speak up for herself and just goes with whatever everyone else is doing. This all changes when she meets the eccentric new transfer student, who is this girl here, Tsubame Hiragi, who is actively interested in Sakura's stories after they accidentally swap notebooks. This begins their journey together as they form a drama club on campus and may also form something else between them. So yes, I really enjoyed the story quite a bit, to be completely honest. I'm a big fan of coming-of-age stories. I like watching characters grow and become their better selves through practice and through pushing from other people and through pushing themselves. And I think this is a really great volume for that. I think like the idea that like always going with the flow, being able to have your own voice is something that I really enjoy in stories. So I am particularly biased toward the story. I really did enjoy the story. I think the characters are really well done, very well written, very akin to Kase-san in terms of like the dynamic. It's not like perfectly, it's not like exactly the same, but kind of a similar dynamic, not romantic yet. I'm going to assume that it's going to become some kind of, Yuri kind of thing. Don't really know for sure. I'm like about 95% sure. But I love how this story portrays these characters. I just really enjoyed reading it. It was a breeze to read through. Just really well done. I think it's really well paced just across the board. Now, when it comes to the art is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, some fantastic character designs. I love the surreal moments that we get, especially within the first part of the volume. Like, really great. This doesn't spoil too much, but this is in full color. It looks amazing. And then this manga is filled with like these little surreal moments that really help to like tie together the story. Very reminiscent of if you've ever read like Your Lie in April and kind of stuff like that, where like they have like those little surreal moments to help bring everything together. I think it's done extremely well. The posing is fantastic. I love that the artist has a lot of understanding of the human anatomy. I do bring that up a lot when I'm talking about manga because I think understanding the human anatomy is really important to being able to push certain movements, certain moments, and especially with like hands and arms, legs, feet, whatever, in order to make it more dynamic. And I think Kiki Yamada really did a great job in pulling that off within this specific volume. So overall, I really enjoyed this. I was expecting to enjoy it, but not as much as I did. So I'm really happy to have picked up the first volume. Definitely highly suggest if you're looking for kind of like a more of like a dramatic love story with a coming of age feel to it as well. This is right up your alley. Okay, coming into Volume 2. So, this was originally released in Koamix, I think is how you pronounce it. Koamix Monthly Comic Xenon back in August of 2021. That is going to be Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku from Norishiro-chan, who is the story writer, and Sakana Uozumi, who is the artist. Now, let's talk about who worked on this really quick before we get into everything else. We have translation from Kashi Kamitama and lettering from Rachel J. Pierce. So, the cover and spine, you know, it's what I always talk about. One of my biggest, not to say pet peeves, but things that I don't really like. The white background with character on it. It's done to death. It's done by everybody. I get it. It's simple. It's easy. But I always want more. But I do think that the rendering is done very well on the character. I think it's, that's pretty cool. The coloring is done well. I really enjoy just how fun and silly the title is, and especially how it's written. Same thing on the side and on the back, the spine here in the back. I think actually the back actually looks pretty cool. I kind of like how they mix up the colors for the various manga panels. I like the chibi characters of the three main characters of the story. Yeah, I kind of wish that was more portrayed on the front, but it is what it is. It's an okay front cover, spine, and back. Now, coming into the story, once again, the girl on the cover is not technically the main character. The main character is going to be this boy here. His name is Takuya Seo, and he is a huge fan of a series called Glittermon, which is a young girls anime that's like, it seems like it's kind of similar to like some kind of like magical girl slash like Pokemon kind of hybrid thing, but it looks like it's a lot of fun. He's totally into it, but typically keeps to himself because he doesn't think like that anybody else is really interested in it, until one day he is like kind of like contacted, or like I guess like, you know, one of the gals in the class kind of sees him and like starts stalking him on accident, and her friend, who is this character here, is suddenly interested, and it's like, hey, you know, that reminds me of insert thing here. And then he's like, oh my gosh, somebody else who's really into Glittermon, that's crazy. So they kind of end up slowly but surely becoming friends, and maybe something more as the story goes on. We shall see. But yeah, the story is pretty straightforward. It's like, you know, nothing groundbreaking, but it is entertaining. I think the characters are well written. I think the comedy is pretty fun. I like the dynamic between the three characters, especially the two gals, Ichichi and Amane, are really fun. Takuya Seo also pretty fun as well. So yeah, overall I think it's pretty okay. I just enjoy that these characters are like kind of like growing with one another, and I like their dynamic, like I mentioned. But yeah, so overall pretty solid. Art, also pretty good. Character designs are solid. We have some really like funny moments, especially with the art. I just kind of like enjoy the simplicity of the designs. Obviously, it's a little bit more like grounded because it's a grounded series. You know, there's no like fantastical moments or whatever. But yeah, overall, I did really enjoy it. I think the shading is also really good as well at various parts of the story. So I think if you're looking for a kind of a straightforward rom-com, like otaku rom-com, I think you'll have a good time with this one. Okay, so Volume 3 was actually given to me in Japan by kind of somewhat pure coincidence. I will say we did plan on meeting up, but I also was not planning to receive a volume of manga, but I got two, but I'm only going to be talking about one here. And this is a self-published manga, from what I can tell, from back in 2024, being released in America, actually very soon, I think in print. I think it's already out in digital, so you can buy it now. But in terms of this copy here, it is going to be releasing in December. That is going to be First Time in Taiwan, A Delicious Adventure from Muta Yuki. This is published by Manga Mavericks Books, who I've talked about a couple times on this channel because I think they deserve, the shout out. They are a really cool group of people. Very nice, very kind, very funny. I have had the opportunity to talk with them just a couple of times. Most of the time, just kind of just like chatting and doing whatever, not really talking necessarily about like, Manga Mavericks books, but they have been very kind to provide me this copy for free, so thank you so much to V-Lord. It was very good to see you in Japan with Mike and with Victoria, so thank you so much, you three, for being so nice to my wife and I while we were there, and just, talking and chatting about manga. So anyways, that aside, let's talk about who worked on this really quick. We have ourselves translation from Robert Harkins. We have lettering from Marcos Vinicius Ribeiro. We have editing by Victoria Esnard. Cover and logo design by Darren Vogt. And pre-press technician is Giantrix Andres. So yeah, let's talk about this cover and spine. The cover is really, really nice. I like it a lot. I love the colors. I like the rendering that's done on the food. I think it's really well designed. It just looks nice. I like the straightforward and prepped up, I don't know what I want to call it. I just really like how the title is placed. I think it's really nice. And yeah, just overall it looks really good. This is a way to do a really good white background with the characters, because I think adding all this extra information really looks nice. And I like the way that it's framed as well. Coming into the story, it's a pretty straightforward story. It focuses on the mangaka's journey through Taiwan and a couple of the places that they got to try food at, and just kind of like an experience overall. So it's pretty, it's pretty light. It's pretty fun. It's interesting to see the insight of a character or insight of a person as they're traveling. I think that's like one of my favorite things to see, is when people talk about when they travel, where they're traveling, what they're eating, what they're doing, and I think this is a really great example of that. It's written pretty easily. It's a nice, simple read, very quick, but I think it can warrant a reread because I think the art looks fantastic. The food is rendered so well. I love the kind of silly characters that the mangaka uses for themselves and for their family and friends and for various other people. So I think it just looks really good across the board. There are color pages as well, which is awesome, and they do describe the food in a very nice way, so it's easy to kind of understand what this food is without ever having been. But man, do I really want to go to Taiwan now, because the food looks so good. Yeah, this is a pretty, easy read. Is it going to, keep you busy for longer than an hour? Probably not, but it doesn't have to be. And I think that's what makes it nice. It's a quick, easy read that can warrant a reread. It's easy to suggest to people because it's kind of like reading a zine, and I really do enjoy that idea and that aspect of this specific manga. Okay, coming into the final volume, yes, I just want to mention I did receive this review copy from Titan Comics / Titan Manga, so thank you very much for providing this review copy. I did do a short on this, doing a short review, but now I'm doing a full review. So this manga originally released in Manga Goraku back in February of 2024, and that is going to be Stray from Ryu Kamio and Yu Nakahara. So yes, let's talk about who worked on this really quick. We have editing. Our editor is Luis Yamani, designer is Matt Bookman, translation is by Molly Rabbit, and lettering is by Tom Williams. Okay, let's talk about the cover and spine. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like this cover very much. I think the white to brown kind of gradient is kind of strange, but I do really like the font that they use for Stray, or how it's written. It looks really cool. I love seeing the characters running away from the cover, which is kind of interesting as well. Kind of puts the reader into this idea that we're following them or we're chasing them, which is also a part of the story. So yeah, it's also the same as on the on the side here, and then the back is actually a side story of the manga that talks about a side story that's in this specific manga that's about a baseball player. So pretty interesting little thing there. But yes, let's get into the story. So Hachiya Ken, who is the guy that's on the right here, he has just been released from prison, and he is met by a strange girl, this girl here, who claims to be his former partner's daughter, because he used to be a part of the Yakuza. Some things happened, and he goes to jail, and now he's free, and now this girl is like, hey, help me find my mom. I don't know where my mom is. So now they're on a journey to try to find her mom, while also navigating his former past, his past with the Yakuza and everything, kind of coming after this girl for some reason. Not sure why, but you find out as you go throughout the story. So this is a one-shot manga, so you will complete the story just by reading this, and man, what a really entertaining, super fun story. It is a lot of fun. It's very like exciting. Just kind of like a brisk pace throughout the entire manga as well. The action is done really well. I think the character moments are also very endearing. And there's like a lot of mystery that I think is done really well, especially for a one-shot. I was kind of surprised by like the amount of like plot twists that actually worked on me. So overall, that story is really, really good. Like I said, the characters are very well written, and I kind of enjoy this like mix between the past and the present, kind of mixing and melding together to create this very interesting and cohesive story. So overall, really enjoyed this story. When it comes to the art is like really, really good, and it's funny because it's like you can kind of see similarities between the artist Yu Nakahara's art in comparison to somebody like Naoki Urasawa, funny enough, because I think like the character designs are varied, very interesting, and they kind of like teeter on this line of like semi-realism, but also still stylized. And I think overall the art is just fantastic. There's some really great action scenes just across the board. The choreography is done really well. The character designs, like I said, are very good, very diverse, and I think that makes for a really exciting read when you get to see these different kinds of characters as you read throughout the story. Overall, I loved this. I thought this was really, really good, and I would highly suggest for anybody who does like Naoki Urasawa work would probably really enjoy this, but anyone who kind of likes like an action thriller series, I think will also very much enjoy Stray. It's just really well done, and I am excited to check out other series by these two, and hopefully they release more. Okay, now here comes the genuinely hardest part, because these are 4 very, very good manga, and I would say there's only one that I think is like, I put just a little bit below the other 3. That's gonna be Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku, which I actually really enjoyed. It's just, I didn't like it as much as these other 3. So when it comes to the 3 here, A Curtain Call for You, Stray, and First Time in Taiwan. So I'm gonna put First Time in Taiwan here, just at 3rd place. I think it's still very, very good. But between Stray and Curtain Call for You, these two are so fantastic, and I think this is going to be my list. So I'm gonna put Curtain Call for You at number 1. This completely blew me away, blew away my expectations. I loved it way more than I was expecting to. Stray, fantastic, really good action, great stuff. First Time in Taiwan, a really nice, easy read. I love autobiographical work, it's great. And Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku, very good. You know, rom-com, excited to read more. So yes, that is going to be my ranking of these 4 manga. Are you interested or excited in reading any of these series? Please let me know in the comments below. And yeah, have you read any of these series before? Because I know a few of them are online already or are for digital purchase, so if you want to go check them out, you can. And if you have, let me know what you think of them in the comments below. And you know what to do. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. Those are all amazing things, and I really appreciate you when you do that. Thank you again to DragonBugz. You are the best. You are a member, and you're awesome for doing that. Remember, if you become a member, I have 3 tiers. You have like the simple supporting one. You know, I do appreciate it, regardless of whether you know, however much you decide to pay. But I do have 2 other tiers, where one of them you get these videos just a little bit early. Depends on when I record them, but you usually get them within 3 days from when they release. And then last but not least, if you become the highest membership, you do get members only videos, which I've been attempting to put out more. I've already put out 3 total, but 2 recently within the past 2 months. And I will work to continue to be continuing releasing those. So if you do decide to join that, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And yep, that's going to be it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.